Welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. So few people have ever heard this. This is why I do this every week. I want to teach as many U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchise owners, U.S. professionals, people in trades, people who get salespeople who do 1099, self-employed, and also all investors how you can save taxes legally. Hi, the Sally Gimmon, and I work for a private law firm that was started 78 years ago by a Harvard law professor. In 78 years, not a single trust has ever been audited. Now, his grandson and great grandson run the law firm, and when you become a private client, they will give you a certification saying if you get questioned by the IRS, they will defend you free of charge. It's an easy promise to be kept. It's only happened once in 78 years, and that trust was approved. So let me ask you three simple questions. You could put yes or no into the chat. Question number one, do you want to save federal and state income taxes year after year and generation after generation and leave a legacy? If that's yes, put it in the yes in the chat. If it's no, put no in the chat. Question number two, what if I told you all your information is kept completely private? Most people do not realize that LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps are public information. Anyone can go online to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission of their website and research them. 40%, according to Google, 40% of LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps get sued every year. That's playing Russian roulette with your information. Again, if you want to keep your information completely private, put yes in the chat. If you don't want to keep your information private, put no in the chat. And question number three, I can't stop you from being sued, but all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Think about how much time, anxiety, worry, money just disappears for you. As an example for you, one of my clients who has a beneficial trust has 100 doors in Chicago. Um, Patrick's a really nice guy. He wears a large pink diamond pinky ring and a gold Rolex watch. He's worth a lot of money because he's done a lot of investing. I've never seen his RV, but in August of 2024, he could not slow down for traffic. He hit the car in front of him that pushed her into the car in front of her. They got out, they exchanged information. His insurance card showed his trust name. Patrick's Illinois driver's license showed Patrick's address. 4 weeks after the accident, he got a $900,000 pain and suffering bill. He calls me saying, I thought I couldn't be sued. I'm like, Patrick, don't worry. You have the name of the attorney, you have the name of the plaintiff. You're going to send each one of them a copy of the first page of your trust and a short note just saying, I'm sorry you can't get blood from a stone. It'll go away. Calls me back 8 weeks later. He's like, I haven't heard anything. I'm like, that's the power of the Spendthrift Trust. So let's get into this. Let me share my screen and talk about this. So again, the Spendthrift Trust saves federal and state income taxes, keeps your information 100% private, and no judgments if you're sued. Why don't you want to learn about this? Now, this is the 2026 federal income tax brackets. I'm not sure how many people realize there's 4 different ways to file your taxes. Uh, Single's the most expensive way. Then there's head of household, you're divorced with children 18 or younger in the household. Then there's married filing separately, and then married filing jointly is the cheapest way. Now, on January 1st of 2022, the IRS quietly changed married filing separately to match single all the way up to the 35% tax bracket. $256,226, $256,226. If you're married, file jointly, because instead of being $256, $226, it's $512,000. It's so much cheaper to file jointly. Again, if you file married filing separately, you're paying as much taxes as a single person all the way up to the 35% tile. Now, my personal story, so you have it. I became a real estate investor in late 2018 when my mom got sick. She got sick. They lived in Goodyear, Arizona, 25 miles west of Phoenix. They drove to Charlotte for a wedding. She got sick while she was there. She ended up having septic of the blood. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in the hospital for 15 months. My dad stayed with her and visited her every day in the hospital. I was doing their mail because the owner was supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, not 15 months. In the first week of Christmas, there was a letter that was 27 pages thick to my mom's Medicare statement for the emergency room and 1 month on a ventilator. It was everything that was done for her. It was going to cost $72,000. I'm not worried about my mom and dad. My dad was retired military, had TRICARE for life, but I'm standing in my mom and dad's kitchen. I have a mortgage. I have 2 car payments, 1 car, because silly Sally bought a brand new car. 3 weeks into having her car, she was driving to work at 7:30 and had to be at work at 7:30 in the morning on Indian School Road. She was the second car through on a green light when some idiot ran the red light, T-boned her on her passenger side. He had no insurance, and silly Sally had the paperwork. That paperwork for gap insurance sitting on her kitchen table because she had 4 weeks to fill it out. It was only week 3. I have student loans because I went to graduate school. I have credit card debt. I also have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. I went around to everyone who stopped to help me, very nice people in Phoenix, saying, please do not call an ambulance. I'm not hurt, because I didn't have the money to pay for an ambulance. So I got into real estate investing. In 2019, with my mentor, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide. I was going into the banks, getting some information, getting who's on the mortgage, contacting them, and then getting them the right affidavits. I wholesaled 7 properties nationwide, paid off all my debt, and supposedly I was a rock star in my real estate group. Well, I had 6 LLCs because I had started having notes. COVID struck on April 1st of 2020. My 6 notes did not pay me, so I had no money coming in. And on April 4th, my CPA calls to say congratulations. I had made so much money in 2019. My tax bracket went from 22% all the way up to 29%, and all of a sudden I owed $94,000 in taxes. I had $50,000 saved. I thought I was doing things correctly. His solution, set up an appointment with him, get on a payment plan, pay interest and penalties. My solution, oh no, 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 no. Take a HELOC off my paid off townhouse. I paid my tax bill, and I started researching how the rich save taxes. I had read an article on the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. The Rockefellers could save taxes. I could save taxes. So it took me 5 months, but in September of 2020, I started both my business and my Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, and I started teaching in my real estate group other investors how to save taxes. Now, if your CPA or your financial advisor tells you the IRS wrote a memo about the Spendthrift Trust, they did on August 9th of 2023. They say they do not like Tax Code 643B, and they do not like the Irrevocable, Complex, Discretionary, Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. But the IRS can't change the tax code. Only Congress can. Too many presidents, including our current president, too many senators, too many congresspeople, and the people who are in their super PACs to donate to their elections know about the secret of the rich. If you're a TSA agent and didn't get paid for 9 weeks, I don't know how you drove to work. I mean, you had to walk to the airport because I don't have enough food for 9 weeks in my pantries. So these 5 elements, the Benson Financial Trust is the trust I sell. There are other trusts, spendthrift trusts out there, but every spendthrift trust needs these 5 elements or it does not work. Irrevocable. This means it goes from generation to generation, and you decide who are the beneficiaries and who are not the beneficiaries. Like I said, the Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust is 7 generations old and has 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number for tax ID. Each individual Rockefeller family files a separate 1040 tax return, and there is no commingling between each group. Next one, complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that's going to turn 365 years old in 2026. Our country just had its 250th birthday. Most people are unaware the tax code that we're under went into effect February of 1913 in the super rich families of 1913. the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, and the Kennedys made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they could save taxes, I'm going to teach you how you can save taxes. Now, 97% of the trusts sold every year are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television. The family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust or the living trust. It avoids probate and then dissolves. That's what it's designed for. What I'm teaching you here is not your mom and dad's trust. This trust saves you federal and state income taxes, keeps your information completely private, all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. And number 4, if you're over 65, it stops the IRMA surcharge on Parts B and D of Medicare. It's an amazing thing. Discretionary. Whoever's a trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries when they're alive and then also from the grave. It has to be honored. There's no infighting, there's no contesting the will or anything like that. Now, I do have a beneficial husband and wife beneficial trusts who have 4 apartment buildings in Los Angeles. Their adult daughter has a drug problem. They have an agreement with her that she can live there rent-free, but she has to take 4 random drug tests per month and pass them or she's kicked out. She did not like this. She actually sued her mom and dad in federal court. The judge read over the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust and he told her she has 2 options. Option A, pass the drug test, live rent-free. Option B, move out and start paying your own rent. I do not want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner. Non-Grantor. This makes the trust completely private. When you start either the Business or Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, you are going to have someone to set up to be the grantor or the settler of your trust. They will never be a beneficiary. They will never be a trustee. They sign up to be the grantor, and then they sign themselves away. It's not a speed bump. You do need their social security number. If you don't have anyone to do this, I have done this for several of my clients. Easy peasy. I can do this for you too, free of charge. And then the last part, the spendthrift. Again, it comes from England way back in, I think, 1582. I might have the wrong dates for that, so please forgive me. If I have 2 pages of American case law, if you want that, just put your email into the chat, say case law, I will send that to you. This is as legal can be. Now, again, my personal story, after I paid off my $94,000 tax bill, I bought a bank reverse mortgage in July of 2020. I paid $20,000 for it, and it was going to go to auction in North Carolina because my mom's sick in North Carolina for $50,000. That $30,000 spread in between at 24% tax bracket would cost me $7,200. So this is as my first property. I had bought it with my LLC. I was taught how to move it from my LLC into my trust, because when you start with the Benson Financial Trust, we have an entire team that trains you and answers your questions. You're not out there by yourself. So this did not go to auction until August 28th of 2021, almost 14 months later. It started at $50,000 and the last bid was $64,326. Woo-hoo. Without lifting a hammer, I made $44,326 in profits. At 24% tax bracket, I got to save $10,368.24 on this first property. I'm not trying to crow, but I moved to North Carolina to do a thing called upset bids, and I have wholesale properties, either raw land or houses that I did not want. I've wholesaled 28 of them in the past 6 years, and I've not paid a single dime in taxes. It's an amazing thing. So now let's talk about the business trust. We'll get to that more into the beneficial trust in just a second. The business trust is for all U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, people in the trades. I don't care if you're an electrician, a plumber, a doctor, a chiropractor, a dentist, professionals, you're a salesperson, or you're self-employed. W-2 income earners, I cannot help you, but Google says 35% of W-2 income earners have a side hustle. That was me. I was working full-time as a Medicare broker and wholesaling bank-owned properties nationwide. Great job, a great thing to do. If you make $100,000 a year in 1099 income, I don't care where you live in the United States, 43 states have state income taxes, 7 states do not. I don't care how you file your taxes. Are you single, head of household, married filing separately, or married filing jointly? If you make $100,000 a year or more, I promise you will save at least 5 figures in taxes. This is somebody who I met at a BNI meeting here in Charlotte. I just said that wrong. Here in Raleigh. He's single. Is a franchisee owner of Made in the Shade. Uh, with what's he paying in taxes for the full year of 2026? He would save $37,681 in federal taxes. On top of that, North Carolina state income taxes are 3.9% because I live here and I know that. It's $7,495. For the whole year, he would save $45,176. I met him in May at the BNI group. He started this trust in May, so in June, he saved $3,764. In July, he saved $3,764. He'll save it again in August, in September, October, November, and December. The $3,764 he can put back into his franchise. He can pay off his mortgage. He wants to pay off his mom and dad's mortgage, is what he really wants to do. He can take everybody on a vacation. He can give to his favorite charity, but he can save for retirement. He has access to this money. He is the trustee. He did open up a new bank account with the new EIN or tax ID number that we got for him. His receivables go into that new bank account. He's going to file a 1041 tax return. Well, actually, for 2026, he's going to file a 1040 tax return for January, February, March, April, and part of May, and a 1041 tax return for half of May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. We introduced him to a CPA that the law firm has vetted. 100% his choice if he uses the CPA we introduced him to or his CPA he uses locally here in Raleigh. As he says, his CPA didn't know anything about this. And he'll file his taxes. Everything will be correct. He might get 1040 tax returns from working with Made in the Shade. He'll pay his royalty fees, everything else, and he still gets to save $3,764 every single month in 2026. I don't have the figures for 2027 yet. When I do, I'm going to go back to all my clients and say, here's the numbers you gave me. Now I'm updating it to 2027. Kind of funny, this year there was a little bit of tax saving because of the big beautiful bill, but most states put up their state income taxes. So again, if you make $100,000 in 1099 income, I guarantee you will save 5 figures in taxes or more. Now, with the beneficial trust, you're going to save the following taxes. Short-term capital gains, I'll show you a slide for long-term in just a second, are between 10% to 37%, just like this chart shows you. It affects you when you wholesale, fix and flip, do auction houses, tax liens, you're selling crypto. I don't care if you bought the Bitcoin in 2017 and you're selling it in 2026, it's still short-term capital gains. The federal government makes more money off of you that way. If you're doing options trading or a Forex investor. Interest income taxes, again, between 10% to 37%. If you're a passive investor, you are in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you do subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where I'm the paper in the house. People pay me their mortgage, creative financing, seller financing, or Forex investors. Yes, Forex investors, you get double tax. You desperately need the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, maybe you're a day trader, maybe you are a futures trader, a commodities trader, or you're living on dividends, again, between 10% to 37%, depending on your tax bracket. Rental income taxes. Yes, you can move a property with a depreciation schedule or a property with cost averaging into the trust. When you have the trust and you sell that property, you won't have to pay back any of the depreciation because that goes away. But I don't care if you have a mixture of short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals, 3, 5, 10, 15, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily real estate, you're in apartment real estate, you're in commercial real estate, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. The one that's not on here is royalty income taxes. They're taxed a little bit less, still 7 different layers, but between 10% to 35%, and affect you if you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist, have NFTs, copyrights, patents, or intellectual property. Robin Williams, the funny comedian actor, he had the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Yes, he committed suicide, but because he had the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust, his 3 adult children pay no royalties on any of his great works. Watch Mrs. Doubtfire, still a great movie. Now, I'm not trying to crow, but this is a tax lien I did in Pondwell, Vermont, kind of very rural. I made one phone call to a real estate agent who had sold a real estate agent who had sold a place nearby. She knew exactly what farm I was talking about. It came on 14 acres. She knew exactly what happened to the family. Unfortunately, they passed away. And she knew the kitchen was a 1950s kitchen and had not been updated. She said, how much are you wanting to sell this for? And I'm like, I just trying to find out how much, what it's deal. And she goes, I'll give you $100,000. I'm like, okay. I paid $7,000 for it. So in profit, I made $93,000 in capital gains. At 24% tax bracket, I got to save $22,320. Going back up here, I saved $10,368. And on this one, $22,320. Completely paying for the trust and making extra money on that. Now, long-term capital gains are either 15 or 20% when you sell your business, sell an investment property, or a baseball card. This was brought to me by they had seen one of my videos. They bought this apartment building for $1.5 million in 2012. They were selling it in April 2024 for $5 million. Congratulations, they're making quite a bit of money on that. They did a lot of improvements. On April 15th of 2025, at 15%, they did not have to pay $570,000, or at 20%, $760,000. They could put this back into more real estate. Again, this is with the Spendthrift Trust. They are doing apartment buildings all over the country. They're saving rental income taxes. If the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman, they don't get sued. And then when they sell it, they don't pay the capital gains. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about, they say 3.5 million American seniors are on IRMA. It's called Income Related Adjustable Amount. Every October, the IRS goes back 2 years. So October 2026, they're going to look at all 1040 tax returns, and their supercomputers are going to add everything together. How much you gain from Social Security? How much you gain from pensions? Are you working? Did you do a 401k withdrawal? How about a SEP withdrawal? Do you have capital gains tax profits? Do you have interest income taxes? Do you have dividend income taxes, rental income taxes, or royalty income taxes? And they add it all together. For 2026, I know the numbers. I don't have a chart for it yet. If you're single or filing head of household or filing married separately and make more than $109,000, you're paying the surcharge on parts B and D. If you're married, filing jointly, and make more than $218,000, you're paying a surcharge on parts B and D. This is a 2025 schedule because they're showing this from 2023. One of my clients, a husband and wife, that I was going to save them $72,000 at least in dividend income taxes. I knew he was 70 and she was 68. I asked them how much they were paying for Medicare. Husband's like, oh, that's my wife's duty. The wife said, we're paying over $800 a piece for Medicare. So I got them down to this, again, this is from 2025, to $185 per month. So between the two of them, they are saving an additional $1,200 every single month from the IRMA surcharge on top of the dividends income taxes. And then they're going to leave a legacy. It's an amazing, both the business and beneficial trusts are amazing documents. Now, if you would like to set up a free 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, my calendar link is www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. If you would like to get more information, I have a free class on the Great Discovery. When you go out to sallygimmon.com, you're going to register as a free learner. Do not sign up for anything. The class is called Save U.S. Taxes Legally. You'll be able to translate that into 165 different languages if you want to. One of my clients, husband and wife whose first language is Korean, they watched the video. They got on to my Zoom and they had their adult son with them so he could translate for us. The father had all their tax information. They have 3 laundromats in the San Francisco area, and we were going to save them over $82,000 in federal and state income taxes. The son's just like, I didn't even need to be here. His English was better than mine. But when you go out to SallyGimmon.com on the Great Discovery, you're going to get a presentation similar to this, 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write, 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content, and examples of clients saving thousands and thousands of dollars. Again, this is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. My goal is to teach this to as many people as possible. There are other spendthrift trusts out there. I can guarantee you with the Benson Financial Trust, you're going to be, if you get questioned by the IRS, you're going to be defended free of charge. There's an entire team that works with you and teaches you how to use it. I do have people getting on my calendar who get the Red River Trust, I think it's called. It's a spendthrift trust. There's no training on it and they don't know how to use it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I have not read it. I can't work with it. So this is why I went with Benson Financial Trust. I trust them. I get to talk to the people at the law firm. So if you would like to see how much you could be saving with taxes, set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Thank you for watching. I'm going to stop the recording and answer any questions you have now. So, wait 1 second.